Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Dark Souls video walkthrough, and we are currently breaking the game before Sens Fortress. So if you drop down the hole that I went to in the previous video, you can then two-hand any weapon, land on top of the giant rat, and insta-kill him. And then from here, I'm going to show you pretty much the quickest way to get through the depths. I've done this numerous times, it's exceptionally fast, and it avoids all the curse frogs, which is something the new players absolutely are terrified of for no real reason, and it also avoids, you know, everything essentially. It gets you through it super quickly. But I need to go back to the tangent I was just on because it's still fresh in memory, and I need to finish on the point I was actually trying to make. So the Catholic school that I went to preached this principle of turning the other cheek. And I never really understood it, because turning the other cheek to me is advocating further violence on yourself. And anybody who advocates further violence on themselves is either stupid or Jesus. That is the only two people, because it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to anybody who has, you know, who doesn't have SEPA, is the only people that understand that. And SEPA is such a rare disease that chances are not many folk have it, so it's perfectly fine. But situations in school that I got into, for instance, like if I ever got into a fight, and I used to fight a lot in little school because I was an idiot, I would get into trouble because I didn't turn the other cheek when somebody did something. I didn't, you know, advocate this stoic pose against people who were actually trying to hurt me. So instead, I tried to hurt them back, because that to me just makes perfect sense. So this whole mantra of turning the other cheek is exactly what people are trying to say about player versus player. What people are doing is, somebody is using bullshit, someone is using cheap techniques, somebody is using, you know, illegitimate tactics to win, and the other person is stooping to that level so that they can win too. And it's all okay because everybody agrees on it. And that is the opposite to turning the other cheek, which is why this is kind of like an ironic topic, and this is why I wanted to discover it, or explore it, should I say. But this can also work the other way. For instance, these people that refuse to, you know, fight fairly and join these other people are the same reason why this kind of mentality spreads. So you've gone from turning the other cheek to turning a blind eye. And I know this is a lot of fucking wordplay for a very simple point, but to me it's no different to any other game that has frustrated or annoyed me. And I've used Modern Warfare 2 as a good example, because it is a perfect example. By the way, folks, I do apologise that I'm not narrating this boss, but this boss is so simple it's silly. Don't go near him when he's moving, because it does damage. Never even touch him while he's moving, because you'll take damage. Wait for him to stop, and then chop him up, and then get out of there. Don't get too greedy, because he'll hit you. If you want to get the weapon for chopping his tail off, aim for his tail. But he is not a difficult boss, he's just got a lot of life, and he can take a long time if you've got a crap weapon. But back to what I was saying. I used Modern Warfare because a lot of people are into Call of Duty, and it's the easiest reference I can make. But it's like a lot of things. A more recent reference would be Modern Warfare 3. If anybody remembers when the game was first in its cycle, everybody started using double FMG9s because they were better than every other gun up close, they took no skill to aim, and they were just laser death cannons. They were ridiculous. This is the Pyromancer who gives you the glove and enables you to upgrade it. From this point onwards, if you want to, you can go back to the Darkroot Garden, and then farm as much souls as it takes to fully upgrade it, then go into Blighttown and talk to Quilina, who is Quaylag's sister, and she will help you upgrade it as well. And from this point onwards, you will break the game. I'm not going to do that because I've already got this ridiculously powerful weapon, but I just wanted to show you the beginning of that path. And I will probably leave a link in this video to the one where I go and see Quilina, because I don't think I do it immediately now. Mainly because I don't have enough points to buff my shit. And right there when he says come back if you find anything new, if you've got any new spells, you know, from down in Blighttown, from the sister of Quelaag and all that good stuff. Quilina's the what's it called? Bed of Chaos lady, one of the witches of Izalith. I've completely fucked up on that, so I do apologise. But if you, for instance, if I talk to Laurentius again, he would notice that I have a fireball spell off of the crazy spider.
Why, yes,
what am I doing?
Thank you for. I'm still unable. I'm in your debt.
There he goes. That's me telling him that I found a spell he doesn't have from somewhere else, and he's going to go try and find her himself. And I think that unlocks her in the game, so I can go down to Blighttown now and pick up on that. But you'll notice I also did a cheeky edit there where I got a bunch of souls and I upgraded the glove a little bit more. Hang on here, guys. I think I'm going down to show you where she is. So yeah, this video is perfect then. I don't have to link anything. My bad. But I can go back to what I was saying. The double FMG9s were a terrible weapon because they completely took away any kind of value to killing people in my book. And I don't have the highest moral standards when it comes to Call of Duty because I don't understand this concept of, you know, not using the powerful weapons, but I draw a line when it's a gun that removes all the skill. Like, you could be 20 yards from a person who just held the trigger with those two things, firing from the hip because it was the best way to use them, which pretty much takes no aim, and they could beat you with a submachine gun. And that to me is wrong. That to me is broken. And they did patch it. They didn't patch it enough because those guns should have been useless when you had two of them. They should have been really good with one, shit with two. It's just how it should have worked. But it didn't. And I never once put those weapons on a class. Never once. Now, do I expect everybody else to do that? Fuck no. Because there's so many dickheads in the world. It's just how it works. People will do whatever they can to win. Dark Souls is no different. Call of Duty is no different. But will I stoop to that level? No. Why would I do that? Why would I use a gun that takes no skill to use? I don't even have to aim to get kills when the entire point in playing the game is because I like the process of aiming and beating people. That's just stupid. It's no logic. And it's just the same as Modern Warfare 2. Everybody on Modern Warfare 2 says the same thing. Oh, if they're gonna noob tube, I'm gonna noob tube too. If you can't beat them, join them. Look at the community. It's fucking trash. It's garbage. It's like playing with children. And that is what I want to avoid with Dark Souls. And it might already be too late. I know plenty of people that are moving to PlayStation 3 because the Xbox community is garbage. The Xbox, it's ruined. It cannot be fixed. And it cannot be fixed because it's full of people that advocate this fucking bullshit instead of trying to get better, instead of trying to have fair fights and enjoy themselves. And a lot of people wonder, why does it matter so much? Why do you care? It's only a game, and those kind of statements. It's like, oh, it's only the fucking gas chambers in Auschwitz, but people cared about that. And that's a horrific thing to compare it to. But once again, I'm a master of hyperbole, and I'm ridiculous, and I'm an idiot. And that's not the comparison I want to say, so I'm going to go back on this one. But why does it matter so much? Well, it matters so much because when you do go up against somebody who's there to fight and there to have a good time, and you fight fairly and you win, or you lose, you send that person a message, and they send a really nice message back, and you make friends, you meet cool people. I've had many conversations with the people that I've fought against who've not healed, who've not, you know, fucking spammed Wrath of Gods, who've not been wearing full giants, and I've had conversations with people that have, but, you know, they didn't completely do shit. They didn't summon phantoms, they didn't do all that nonsense. This is Quilina, by the way.
I am not off. Are you
and she's going to help us upgrade the glove even more. She's so useful. And she's also got a load of really good pyromancies, but they're very expensive. And if you talk to this lady before you kill the Bed of Chaos, she will ask you to kill the Bed of Chaos and give you a really good spell for doing it, so just bear that in mind. You will need it for your achievement. Now, but trying to round off this topic so I don't go on for it for too long.
Do not crack and go hot.
What I'm trying to say is your behaviour breeds similar behaviours. Because we are animals, we have a pack mentality, we follow the leaders, we follow the charismatic people because they seem to understand things we don't, and we follow through example. It's just how it works. And it's the same with games. If you see somebody using a cool setup on a game, and you're like, that looks pretty cool, I want to try that, and you'll try doing it, and you will adjust your gameplay or your game style for somebody else. Dark Souls is no different. Call of Duty is no different. And if I can fight 3 guys at the same time, not use any healing items, and come out on top, maybe there's a very slight chance that those people go away from that experience thinking, how did he do that? How did he beat us when we had this advantage on him? And then that player goes away, watches a couple of videos, and stops being that kind of player, stops being the guy that gangbangs people and uses cheap stuff, and starts getting better at the game, using better and more interesting weapons, and benefits the entire community through doing so. Because he then influences somebody else, and before you know it, you have a community of people who actually want to have fun rather than grief each other, and the amount of angry messages that get sent is completely eradicated. And it might be, you know, completely unrealistic, because you're always going to get dickheads, which you will, but I like to think it's a much better tactic than just, oh, I'll just join them and use all the dickhead stuff so everybody I fight is really pissed off at me, because that's just silly. What's the point? If I wanted to get people angry, I'd go and get pissed in a bar and end up getting in some bar fights. You know, I'd go shag someone else's wife. It's ridiculous. Thanks for watching, and you take care now.